Change isn't easy, but it's inevitable. Life changes. What was before goes away, and something new comes in its place. And that can be scary. It can be overwhelming and ungrounding, and it can bring up a ton of fear. Because there's a part of us that wants to remain in comfort. And comfort is so important in our lives. But so is discomfort. These things go together. They're not separate. Because if we remained comfortable forever, that is stasis. That's not life. Life is change. Life, yeah, as Ronan Keating famously said, life is a roller coaster. He sang it, but yeah. And it can be really scary. But in the same way that a roller coaster can be scary, it can also be exciting. Because there's a whole load of unknown out there. So the possibilities are pretty much endless. You can shape what comes. You can't shape the past, but you can shape your future. And you do that in the way in which you step forwards. Because if there's this grasping, this wanting to hold on tightly to what it is that you have, with a desperation not to lose it, you're going to lose it. I remember this famous quote from Alan Watts, where he's talking about holding water and the idea of the moment that you grasp it, it just pours through your fingers. You may be able to hold water with open palms, but the minute you grasp, you lose it. And the same is true in life. If we approach life with this open palm, then things come and they go, and we enjoy them while they're there. And perhaps we even grieve them when they've gone. That is also a human thing to do. But this grasping, the tension that that creates, is harming us. An old friend of mine said to me that he didn't think that people changed. That he could see, if he saw me as a 4-year-old in a schoolyard, he'd be like, yep, that's William. And I get that idea, but the idea that I haven't changed since then is just so ridiculous. I've changed dramatically in the last year. I think in the last month I've changed fairly dramatically. Certainly in the last decade, gosh, there's just so much change that has taken place in my life. And that hasn't always been easy. There was a period of my life where I went through extreme depression and had suicidal ideation and was going through tremendous existential crisis. And that was ridiculously difficult. Those months, those years. And yet, they have ultimately brought about the most tremendous change in my life. If it wasn't for those years that I spent there, I wouldn't have come to what I do now. There's this sequence of events, and it's impossible almost to kind of determine where you began doing the thing which you do, because you just go back to every single thing and you can continuously go back. And the starting point is birth, conception, I don't know. Everything is leading you down this path, and it can be meandering at times. It isn't a straight path, because if it was a straight path, it would be pretty boring. Similarly, if we had already arrived at the goal of which we had for our entire lives, it would be fairly uninteresting. It may be comforting for a while, but after time, we need something to focus on, something to galvanize ourselves around, something to commit ourselves to, something that's important to us. For me, that's serving people. It brings me so much joy and feeds me energetically so much, because I want to help people find what I have found in my life. This sense of true freedom around what's going on, an awareness of it, clarity around it, and acceptance. The acceptance to be whatever it is that comes up, because I know that it's not permanent. I know that it's going to change. And maybe you're going through something right now that is so extreme. Maybe you're in the midst of depression. Maybe you've just gone through a divorce. Maybe you're just so lost in life. But this isn't the end of the story. You're in the middle of the story. Maybe even further back. Maybe you're close to the beginning of the story, who knows? And maybe the real story, the exciting story, the part of your life that will get made into a film, maybe that part hasn't even begun yet. So you don't need to think that because of whatever has happened, losing a job, losing a partner, losing anything, that life is somehow done and over. But maybe you are lost. But that will also change. Just breathe. Just allow this journey to unfold as it is naturally, as nature intends. Because you don't always have to be in control. You can just hold that open palm and allow life to come and go. And just strap yourself into that roller coaster and see what it has in store for you. If this resonates with you, then feel free to leave a comment below. You can also contact me by email if you want to contact me directly. I help people find a greater sense of themselves, to connect deeply with what's alive in them, and to learn how to navigate using the compass that we have inside of ourselves, trusting our bodies, trusting what they tell us, and allowing for these things to change around us, to change through us. Because it can't be any other way. I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you're well, and I'll see you next time.